Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Burning Conversations. I am your host, Anastasia Douglas, and today we have a very, very special guest joining us today. He's actually quite familiar around our campus, if you don't know. Our very special guest today is none other than our university president himself, Mr. James Genovese. Thank you so much, President Genovese, for coming out and talking with me today.
I'm honored to be here. Thank you so much.
So we're going to jump right in. Tell me about the presidential search process. How are the interviews going? Because I know this happened last summer. So how did that go?
I still remember them very vividly. I call it the insurrection or the Inquisition, more so. It was something that I was not familiar with, but the questions that were asked, there were at least four what I call inquisitions, where they would inquire about anything and everything, and it was necessary in order to find out a little bit about the candidate, and I appreciate that, and I enjoyed doing that. A lot of them were before the board of University of Louisiana System Board, and one of the special ones was before the students, that I had a chance to go and speak to the students and let them ask the questions that were pertinent to them, because I do remember, even though it was a long time ago, I do remember when I was a student, and it was good to get that information out. And by the grace of God, it worked favorably for me, and I'm very pleased and honored to be here after a long absence.
So you, previously, before you were the university president, you were an associate justice for the Louisiana Supreme Court. You only had 2 years left in your term. So what made you decide to come to Northwestern and come back to your former college?
Well, Ms. Douglas, I've been a judge for 30 years, mm-hmm. and that's what judges do, make decisions. And that was one of the most difficult decisions I had to make. I thought about it for not hours, days, but weeks. Mm-hmm. And my wife and I discussed it at length, whether this should be done or we should pursue this. The turning point was that what was I going to do after 2 years? I believe in working. I don't believe in retiring. I've been around too many people that have retired, and then 6 months later you bury them and they die. I just think that when you run that engine at 4,500 RPMs, you got to keep running that engine until it runs no more. When you stop, you can't get it going again. So what was I going to do 2 years later? And this was a great opportunity to return to Northwestern, the place that gave me the opportunity to be where I am. This was the stepping stone for me to become a lawyer, to become a judge, a district judge, an appellate court judge, and a Supreme Court justice. I have gone to some legal functions since then, and I've had some questions about it, wanting to get back into the fold again after 30 years. But it was time. I had spent a total of 50 years in law, and it was time to move on. And what a great opportunity it is and was to come back to my old stomping grounds, Northwestern, Natchitoches.
Now, I know for me as a student, I'm thinking about my next exam, what assignment I have coming up. But for you, when you were a student here at Northwestern, did it ever occur to you that you might be our university president one day?
No, not at all. I've done some weird things in my life, but I am guided by a greater power than I. There are some things that have happened that said you go and you pursue this, you do this, even though it may be something that you don't want to do. I had no earthly idea or any thought of ever becoming a president of a university. I had decided and devoted myself to law, and that's where I was up until May of last year.
So can you tell me a little bit more about this proposed law school that's coming into place very soon?
Wow, that's the number one thing on the marquee. Second only to today, after that 10-run rule of LSU at home, which I'm riding a high on, which is what a wonderful thing when David slay Goliath. I just love it. But getting to the law school, we have been working for since I started here, that we knew and have always known that there's a need in North Louisiana for a law school. Too many students are being deprived of the opportunity to go to law school because they have to go all the way to Baton Rouge or to New Orleans. And even if they could go that far, the cost of living was just prohibitive. It is way past time for North Louisiana to have a law school, and there's no better place than Natchitoches. Natchitoches is the pivotal area where we are 55 miles from Alexandria, 55 miles from roughly to Shreveport, 78 miles to Grambling, 90 miles to Louisiana Tech, and we've got I-49. We over here at Northwestern, we have the land, we have the buildings, we have everything that's right there. It's cost effective, and it will serve North Louisiana. We lose too many students to other places that should have an opportunity to come here. And so we're working real hard. We have made the proposal. We have sent it to the UL system, the University of Louisiana Board, and also have sent it to the Board of Regents. They are studying it. We have sent an 81-page proposal. We have dotted our I's and crossed our T's, and we are pushing it. It would be a phenomenal boost for Northwestern and for Natchitoches to have that law school. And we're gonna hopefully we can take it to the finish line.
I know marketing and recruiting has kind of been an important key factor that you wanted to bring to this university. And I know for sure, especially in the fall, we had a big number of students coming in. I mean, very significant amount. How has that been going? Do you feel like you've done what you wanted to do as far as bringing more students to the university?
Well, my mama always told me that Rome wasn't built in a day. And so we have been putting this together. First of all, I have such a great staff. It's just unbelievable what they do. I'm so impressed and so guided by them. They help me along. They make things happen. And when I came here, recruiting and marketing and financing had my focus, because I knew throughout the United States that there was a decline in college enrollment, and that's unfortunate. But we're turning that around insofar as to have that 4-year degree and that notch under your belt. There's nothing like it. Okay, and so to see numbers slide a bit. And let me just say this: we are the most financially, fiscally responsible university of all of the ULS universities. We are financially and fiscally sound. And so we're doing very well in that regard. And I want to boost especially the face-to-face students to come here, because that helps the city of Natchitoches. Okay, because when you come here and you here in Natchitoches at school, you have to go out and you have to have medical care. You have to have you have to go and eat. You have to have food and clothing and things, and you need services, and that boosts Natchitoches. And what boosts Natchitoches boosts Northwestern.
Absolutely.
What boosts Northwestern boosts Natchitoches. And Mayor Williams and I have been working hard with that to make sure that we're joined together at the hip. So recruiting is important. I mean, I when I drove up here and I saw the billboard that said, come to Northwestern.
Yes.
Well, that's all well and good, but that doesn't bring students to Northwestern. Mm-hmm. What brings students to Northwestern is like you and I face to face, we're talking. Mm-hmm. And that's why I go out and I want to spend time talking to the teachers, to the parents, to the coaches. Come to Northwestern. When you come here, you are going to get the best education for the best price with the best access with I-49. I mean, you just get on I-49. If you've ever had to drive I-10 like I've had for 20 years, you would get on I-49 and notice that, hey, this is a wonderful trip, because you can just zip right on up here. And the restaurants, Natchitoches, the oldest city in Louisiana, the most beautiful campus that you could have with the Cane River, the lake, Chaplin's Lake right there. I mean, there's so much to offer. And so I want to boost in marketing, and that's what we were focusing on, because we want to bring the students here, because you can come here and get that basic education that you need.
Yes.
That's all you have. Just like for me, I came here, I got a degree in political science and history. What was I going to do with that? Okay. My mother told me the day I left for law school, I was married with a three-month-old child. And she said, son, I hope you make it in law school, because if you don't, you're going to be on the back of a garbage truck. Okay. And that stuck with me and scared me to death. I said, thank you, Mama. I appreciate that. But seriously, because she knew that all I needed was that base education.
Yes.
That what I got here at Northwestern, and then I applied for law school. So you can do that with engineering. You can do that with veterinary school. You can do that with nursing. You can do it with business. So many people have come here and gotten their basic education here, and it has catapulted them into a successful business and life. And so we, all of us who graduate and affiliated with Northwestern, we owe it a great debt. Like I owe it a great debt. One of the main reasons I came back here was to pay back Northwestern for given me their great foundation to be able to spring me into the field of law. And for others, they may wish to spring it into medicine. They may wish to spring it into theater, to dance, to business, to education, to nursing. We've got it all right here.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So I love that you actually bring up Mayor Williams. There have been some talks of some previous statements that you might have said that might tend to be a little controversial. And I want to know, is that because possibly the student body may not know you that well? Is it because the student body and you are from two different generations? Or maybe what you say might be strictly taken out of context of what you mean?
Well, sure. You have to know the relationship between Mayor Williams and I. We kid each other and cut up like kids ever since I've met him. He's a fine man, and we were when we were there. We were joking and cutting up, and it just so happened that he was sitting up in the front and came in later than I did. And I was sitting in the back. He said, "Why are you sitting up here when I'm sitting back there?" And it was completely, absolutely kidding, joking type situation. It got blown all out of proportion. Since then, the lady who made the statement and put the stuff on Facebook, I have met with her, by the way, and we believe we are really friends, and she's a very nice lady, Miss Luter. She is a mother of 8 children, and I've seen her at a number of events since then. Mm-hmm. And so everything has been resolved very favorably to everyone. And you're correct that the people on campus. That's why I spend so much time walking the streets to see people and going to as many events as I possibly can, because I want them to know that I care about them, and I care about this city, and I care about this university. And and I go and I'll go and eat at the cafeteria and just sit down with the students, and it does my heart good to do that, because it energizes me, because these young students, it makes me remember when I was here, and I just enjoy it. I love it. I'm very pleased with the student body and the interaction between the students. We've got such a fine institution here. That's why I harp on everyone. Go out and tell the story about Northwestern. Go out and tell the story about what a great place it is, and it is a great yes. place. And my wife and I love it here. My dog, the first dog, Blue loves it as well. And they're coming up at around noon today, so that'll all be good. But we're working real hard. Mayor Williams and I continuously work at building up Northwestern, at building up Natchitoches, because we know that's what's good for Northwestern is good for Natchitoches. What's good for Natchitoches is good for Northwestern. We're all in it together, and I'm very pleased and maybe overly confident that we've turned the corner, and we've got a new attitude, and that we have some people coming back to Northwestern that had left and had become introverted, and now they're seeing some things that are happening, and they're coming back, and they're starting to help donate financially to help this university, because it takes money to run this university, and we have to run this university as a business, and that's what we're doing. And the great staff that I have is helping me accomplish that goal. So everything is absolutely positive. We always look at the glass as half full and never half empty. And things that happen, like the victory last night, it gives us that great exposure to let them know that, hey, Northwestern can compete. Northwestern is good. And this beautiful campus, the beautiful people, the staff, the faculty, the good teachers that we have, we need to make sure that we get our fair share of funding from the legislature, and that's starting right now. Matter of fact, I'll be there tomorrow morning. Yes, because the old adage that the dog that barks the loudest gets fed first, and if we don't bark, it just goes by, because it's already a situation where a lot of the funding goes to Baton Rouge and New Orleans before if it ever comes up to North Louisiana. So I'm out fighting for North Louisiana, and that's one of the main reasons why I want to bring that law school to Natchitoches, because that's where it belongs.
Good. I love that we have a president who is fighting for us, because like a closed mouth does not get fed. So definitely thank you.
Sometimes I say too much. But Anastasia, if I don't tease you like I tease Ronnie Williams or anyone, if I don't tease you, I don't really like you. And so I was just brought up that way, and you get more bees with an ounce of honey than a barrel of vinegar.
Look, you brought up your wife, Martha, and she actually went to Northwestern State. So I want to know, is that how you guys met?
No. No. I knew Martha in high school. What a beautiful lady, and I wanted to date her, and I loved her, and she didn't care for me, evidently. And then, but she's a year behind me, and so when I went off to Northwestern, after the first year and the second year, I had an old 1965 Rambler that my father got from me, and so I had transportation to get from Opelousas, where I'm born and raised, where she is born and raised too, and so I would give her a ride to Northwestern. Okay, and we were very good friends. I knew her through her brothers. She has 3 brothers, and she's a cool chick, man. She really is. And so after she left Northwestern and went into the Air Force, the whole family really was military. Because the 3 brothers were in the Army, and she was in the Air Force. So, and she was a 7-year retired staff sergeant. She was a medic in the Air Force, and she's a very, very knowledgeable lady. And after 16 years of never seeing her, not even talking to her, her father got sick quickly and unfortunately passed away. She came to my office and asked me, she and her mother came because they knew me, knew I was a lawyer, and they came to me to do some things with the estate and the power of attorney and things like that. And when she came to my office, it melted me, and I saw her, and I loved her all over again. And so things had my marriage had kind of gone south for a while, and so we went out, and we've been married for 36 years since then.
Wow.
And she's still a beautiful lady she was when she was 15, 16, 17 years old. And without her, again, like Northwestern, I wouldn't be here. She is the wind beneath my wings, and she deserves the credit. She's always behind the scenes, but she's a driving force. And my dog is my best friend, as all dogs are, because we sit out and talk about things, and he doesn't say much, but he does. He does listen, and I love him because he gives me unconditional love, and he really doesn't disagree with me. And no matter what I do, he comes up and will lick me in the face. So I'm blessed with a beautiful family with 5 daughters and my wife, and I'm just totally blessed.
As our president every day, because I know you are going from different place, you're traveling, maybe you're here on campus, but you've got several places to go on campus. Is there a particular challenge you face every day?
Yes, the challenge is return Northwestern to the state of prominence it deserves. And whatever I have to do, whoever I have to see, I will go as long as the Lord continues to bless me with good health, I will go and do whatever's necessary. See anybody, talk to anybody and everybody that I think that will be a positive influence to rejuvenate and revive Northwestern. Because it over the years, we've taken some hits at Northwestern. After coming out of COVID, there were some things that happened that we had to exercise some damage control, and we have done that. And now it's all positive. It's so important. I wanted to make sure that we had the proper balance of online service versus face-to-face students. it is important that we make sure that this university doesn't become a University of Phoenix. Okay, this is not an online university. We want to offer the online services, but we need a delicate balance with that. But the face-to-face students, that's where it's at. That's where you get the college experience. You don't get the college experience out of that computer, okay, and online. You get that college experience by being here, by tailgating, by going and enjoying the things that we have here, where it can be rowing, it can be bass fishing at Toledo Bend, it can be hunting, deer hunting, it can be sitting down at the brewery having a beer and pizza, whatever it is that you want. So I want to get out there as much as I can to see and be with everybody and try and get every single student counts. Every single student counts. And I will tell you this, that for every 100 students that we bring on this campus, for every 100 students, that's $1 million for this university. Every student is $10,000 that you bring to this university. Think about that. So every single student counts. And we will go the extra mile to make sure that one of the most astonishing things that to me, and I heard it said when I first came here, when we talked about the meetings and the questions and all of that, I think it's Sly and the Family Stone that says, "We are family." I don't know if it's Sly, but I think it's Sly. I'm not positive. But anyway, we are family, you know, the song. And it is so true here at Natchitoches that I have learned that I know what they're saying now. I understand when they say we are family, because we are all together, and everybody's so nice and friendly, and they talk to you, they wave, "Hi, how you doing?" And I mean, it's all close knit, all tied in. We don't have to take a tram or a trolley or a bus to go 2 blocks to go to another class or whatever. It's all contained right here. You kind of have to love the one you're with, you know, that kind of thing. So we take care of our people. When the students need assistance, there can be a hardship, there can be a death in the family, or there can be surgery involved, and the student needs to be there. We work with the students, we accommodate them. If they have health issues and things, we take care of our people. It's a loving thing. I really, we are family. And when I speak to people, when I go back home to Opelousas in that area, and I talk about my kids, because I consider them my kids. I had to laugh because the kids, they will have their parents here for some event or something, and they'll come up to me and they'll introduce me to their parents. They call Martha and I our grandparents. They're grandparents. Okay, that's what they call. And I just love it. I had such a wonderful relationship with them. These are my kids, and I just love it. I really do.
So after you've had a long day of work, let's say you traveled or or you've been around the city, is there like any particular thing you like to do to unwind? Are you a Netflix or Hulu or Peacock person, or are you more just, I'm going to relax, maybe read the paper and then go to sleep after? What do you like to do?
None of the above.
None of the above.
None of the above. No. If you were a Supreme Court justice for 8 years and you had to handle 60 or 70 cases a week, you read until you were cross-eyed. You really don't sit there and read. I mean, now I can read for pleasure. I mean, I've never read for pleasure, and it's not bad. You know, it really isn't. I enjoy that. It's very difficult for me to relax and unwind. I have a difficult time doing that, but I have to do it because sometimes I keep running I run that engine to a point where it finally says you need to take care of yourself, and I'll get sick. And when I get sick, that shuts it down, and I kind of know when that happens. But this job, we got to keep moving and get this university to the finish line. For me to unwind would be to sit down with my wife and my dog and just talk, and and just to throw the frisbee for the dog, and then maybe to take the boat and go to Toledo Bend. And my wife and I bass fish. She's a very good fisher lady, whatever you call them. And so we enjoy that. And of course the dog fishes too. But we do that. I play golf on occasion, and I still play tennis on occasion, and when I can. And so those are things I do to unwind. Golf, tennis, fishing, spending time with my family. I have well, 5 daughters, of course, but I have 4 grandchildren, which grandchildren are just a spice of life. And I even have a great grandson. I don't have many males in the family. Okay, there aren't many. For some reason or other, there's a problem with the X and Y chromosomes. I really don't know why, but anyhow, I do have 1 grandson and 3 granddaughters, and I have 1 great grandson. I actually have a granddaughter who is in Denmark. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's 9 years old. She's bilingual and speaks Danish and English, and absolutely phenomenal. So that's what I do. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
So before we end, is there anything you would like to say to our student body who might watch this?
Like the commercial. I love you, man. Like the commercial. Please be proud of where you are. Take advantage of the situation. Capture the moment. In theater, I've done a number of plays, and there's a phrase, a clause that says capture the moment, because you're going to go through this one time. There's no instant replay in the education. So I want them to enjoy the college experience. They are here primarily for an education.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. First of all, it's education, but also take time to smell the roses. Take time to have some fun time, because life is a mixture and a combination. Exactly, a balance of both. Too much of one is not good, and so I want them to keep focused on what they wish to do with the rest of their life, because they're laying their foundation right here. All right. So what they do here is going to affect them down the road. So take time to focus in on your future, because above all, I want you to get a good education. I want you to become a productive member of society, so that you can pay my Social Security. You see, but seriously, and one of the most fun times I have. Is to walk over to the cafeteria and to be with the kids, to sit down and rub elbows. I can't believe they want to fool with old people like me, but they do, and you see the smile on their face, and that's what keeps you going. It's the kids in this university that keep me and my wife going. It's the kids, the students, the lifeblood of this university, and would I like to go back and do it over again? Perhaps yes, with what I know now, but I just want them to know that they're laying their foundation, and to give it their best shot. And then once they lay that foundation, then they can go and become that productive member of society, which is what it's all about. And I want them to be successful, and I want them to come and tell me hello when they get a chance.
Oh, all right. Thank you, President Genovese, for joining me today and talking with me and having a conversation with me, because I know your schedule is very busy.
Yeah, I mean, Miss Anastasia, you have a great laugh. I love, my mother always said, you can tell that I'm a mama's boy. My mother gives me thousands of sayings, and I say them all the time. Some are in French and some are in English. But laugh and the world laughs with you, and cry and you cry alone. So that great smile and that laugh you have, I know you're going places. And thank you for having me. And I thank Natchitoches. I thank Northwestern for giving me the opportunity to come back. And I hope we can elevate Northwestern and return it to that state of prominence it deserves, because we are better than that. We deserve better than that. And we're going to win this, Anastasia. We're going to win this. Okay. We're just hang tight. We're going to win this, and fuck them demons, man.
Always. Thank you guys so much for joining and watching me today. Thank you guys for watching throughout the semester as well. Just a little heads up, the Current Sauce has their April edition still out on various places around campus. This will conclude this episode of Burning Conversations. My name is Anastasia Douglas, and thank you guys for joining me. Bye-bye.